Up to now, we've been firing with what kind of sling in our arm? And for the standing, we need what sling, you guess? Good. Now, when you change over, we're going to be aware of this. You're going to have sight black sprayed all over this front side assembly, right?
Yes, sir.
We want to be grabbing it and then rubbing our face.
No, sir.
So keep your hand off this. Also, when you're moving the sling off your arm, do you want to have your hand over here?
No, sir.
Negative. You don't want to blow your fingers off. So keep your hand away from the front sight. Keep it away from the muzzle, definitely. Get the sling off. Notice this, that the weapon is laying down on my lap. Being a right-hander, I want the dog injection port side. Which way? Exactly, down. So I'm going to put my sling, just like so. I'm going to take and adjust it. I want to have about how much slack below the
6 inches, sir.
6 inches, good to go. Just like so. Now the sling initially is flat. I'm going to give it a half twist. Which way for a right-hander?
Clockwise, sir.
Correct, and lefties would go?
Counterclockwise, sir.
Exactly. Okay. We're going to twist clockwise. Snap it on just a half twist and be like snapping it on backwards. Okay. You cannot check your sling tension while you're sitting here on the can. That's kind of like unsafe, understand? So you stand up, get your feet about shoulder width apart. Notice that if I were to have that imaginary line again from my target to my firing point and through it, it makes a straight line about right here, correct?
Yes, sir.
But I am positioning my feet and my body at a diagonal from the get-go, understand?
Yes, sir.
That way, once again, remember like the sitting position, some of you I told you don't have your body like this, have the shoulders more towards the target. That's what this accomplishes, having a little bit more shoulder towards the target. Now I gotta check my sling to make sure I'm a happy camper, that it's the right doggone tension for me in this position. Once again, the bottom 1/3 of the sling, make sure it's flat. Run the arm through it, make sure the sling is high on the tricep muscle up here, flat across the back of the arm, down, out, over, and in. There we go. Now, in the prone position, I want my forward hand down here. Kneeling position, I want my hand down here. Sitting position, I want my hand here. Standing, I want it right here, understand?
Yes, sir.
Down here, in the standing, this will allow you to draw your forward arm in to your rib cage. This is where your bone support's going to come from, if there is any at all. A majority of this is holding your muscle tension, understand?
Yes, sir.
A little cool this morning, is it?
Yes, sir.
So be it. All right. Now, I take and pull my forward hand down, and I grab my stock, and I pull it up into my shoulder like this, understand?
Yes, sir.
A lot of your support is one coming from your tricep against your rib cage. Additionally, you're going to get some support from the back of the sling, holding up that arm as well, understand?
Yes, sir.
Question right there.
So in this position, we actually have to use muscle tension instead of...
You're going to use some, not a lot, but a whole lot more than the other positions, because there's just no getting around it. There's nothing really to prop my arm up, so it's basically my arm is holding the weapon up to a degree, understand? There's no getting around it. Also, to get support here, notice this. Every time I put the stock in the shoulder, I'm going to have a habit. I'm going to get this flat sling, did I say twisted and bunched up? This flat sling on my pec muscle right here, on my chest, and this is going to give me a bunch of support to hold the weapon up also, understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I got a good firm, I got my sling flat, I got my sling set right, it's right from the get-go. If it is way too tight, you'll have the following problems. Trying to run your arm through is going to be fun. When you put your hand in there, it's like you can't get it in your bloody shoulder if it's too tight, understand?
Yes, sir.
Too much. And if it's way too loose, obvious example, wet noodle effect. I mean, I don't feel nothing lifting up in the back of my arm, understand? So you got to adjust it and play with it while you're standing up and find that right spot that allows you to get it into your shoulder and have a little bit of lifting up on top of the back of your tricep. And also make sure the sling, every time you put it in the shoulder, like death, taxes, and God, it will happen. You will check and make sure this sling is flat on your pec muscle here, understand?
Yes, sir.
'Cause if it gets twisted, you don't get no support from it. Now, I got my forward hand and elbow set. I want this elbow drawn in so the top of my tricep muscle is against my rib cage in here. That's my support along with the sling. Okay, common factor 1's in place. Common factor 2 is in place. Notice this one, I'm not rotating in it, am I? In this position with a sling like this, you grab the stock and you draw the sucker in like this so you have the stock catching on the shoulder. Notice this, the stock is now higher. It's not like this on top. I want stock and shoulder, but you ain't gonna get all the stock in the shoulder like you had in the other positions, right? Just be aware of that. The stock will be a little bit higher and you will get at least half of the butt held in place by the shoulder. So common factor 1, common factor 2 in place. Now I get my high firm pistol grip. Rear elbow placement in this position. If you see me demonstrate, I'm a creature of habit. Years ago, the Marine Corps had what's called a parade sling, just like you would for drill on the rifle for the standing. In that position, you have to have your rear elbow up, the doggone support the stock in the shoulder. I'm a creature of habit, and that's just what I've been trained for many years to do. So if you like to have your elbow up, you can. But now that you have the sling on your shoulder, you don't have to. You can have it just hang down natural. You don't want to you don't want to pin it against your arm like you would for the kneeling. But in the standing, you can have it at like about a 45-degree angle, or you can have it all the way up, understand?
Yes, sir.
But wherever's comfortable, anywhere from here to here is good, understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I've got myself a good position built. Stock weld R leaf. Say my target was that silver car, 123 from the doggone left over there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now my rifle is pointing at the tree to the left. What should I do? Twist my torso?
Yes, sir.
And how am I going to do that?
Keep your left foot in place and move your rear foot.
It's like I'm spinning in place. See my feet? Short, choppy steps. Rotate in place, understand?
Yes, sir.
That's how you're going to get on target. There we go. And when I'm done moving, my feet are just natural. I make no special effort to do. You could go like this, and it throws you off balance. This will really throw you off balance. Just stand natural, understand?
Yes, sir.
That'll keep your balance the best. Just stand natural, feet shoulder width apart. You don't want to do this, and you don't want to do this, understand?
Yes, sir.
Shoulder width apart, just stand natural, and just orientate your body. Because the biggest thing is you want to get rid of the twist in the torso. You want to get rid of that. Just relax, and wherever the relaxed feeling is, that's your natural point of aim, and you adjust yourself on target. Now the trick is confirm it now. Relax a second, take it down, then you rebuild your position. 1 and 2, check sling. 3, 4, 5, breathe and relax. Close the eyes, open them. Now when you relaxed a lot, you're going to find that the tip's going to go down below the target. For the purposes of the natural point of aim, I'm not worried about up and down because I can lift enough muscle to get it up there. However, left and right when I relax, that concerns me. If my weapon is not in line with the target, even though it's low, I need to adjust them feet again, understand?
Yes, sir.
And you check it to rest a second, you double check. Get used to putting the stock in the exact same consistent spot every time. That affects your stock weld and R leaf, and that affects ultimately what? Your true. Because you put the stock this way one time, this time the next time out here on the arm, this time in the shoulder. Is that true zero going to be any good?
No, sir.
It'll be like a dog chasing his tail. You'll be chasing that spotter all over the target. Click, click, click. Change it this time. Click, click, click back. So you have to be consistent in your stock placement in your shoulder, understand?
Yes, sir.
Looks the same, feels the same. What I say?
Looks the same, feels the same, sir.
So common factor 1, common factor 2, 3, 4, 5, chin and down. Relax, open eye. I'm perfectly on target.
Yes, sir. In the kneeling position, we were allowed to use our 3 fingers to compensate for the wind. Are we allowed to do that in the standing too, sir?
Or remember this, the standing, the question is, if in the kneeling, remember we pull back on the pistol grip so you can reduce that wobble stuff, right?
Yes, sir.
You're asking if you can do the same thing for the standing.
Yes, sir.
Let's put it this way, watch this. If my elbow is up like this, or slightly down like this, if I pull back, what happens to the weapon?
Understood, sir.
But if in the kneeling, I want my arm like this, and my stock's down here in this pocket. If it's down here, I can pull straight back. The elbow's up, I pull it out, don't I?
Yes, sir.
Answer your question?
Yes, sir.
So I would not really advise much backwards pressure on that pistol grip in the standing, no.
Yes, sir.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. are not